We have our regular two meetings this morning here. We open with the salary board meeting before the Board of Commissioners meeting. Today is March 16th, 2023, appointed hour 9:30 right. So we will open the salary board meeting and we'll call that meeting to order. So we'll start with a roll call. Members present.
Commissioner Eichelberger.
Present.
Commissioner Fauci. I'm here. Commissioner DiFilippo.
Present.
Controller Whitcomb.
Here.
Okay, thank you. Okay, at this point, we have opportunity for any public comment in regards to issues on salary board issues.
No.
Okay, very good. Well, move us on to item 4. We have the minutes of March 2nd meeting of 2023 in hand.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes of the March 2nd meeting.
I'll second.
It's moved and seconded. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Okay, item 5, we have the salary board actions in hand.
I'll make a motion to approve the salary board actions.
I second.
Moved and seconded. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. So there business to come before the salary board? If not, that'll move us to the final item of adjournment. So I need a motion for that.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Stand adjourned. Thank you. That'll move us right into our board of commissioners meeting. We always open with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America
And to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice.
Okay, we'll call the meeting to order and begin with the roll call. Members present, please.
Commissioner Eichelberger.
Present.
Commissioner Fauci. I'm here. Commissioner DiFilippo.
Present.
Okay, thank you. All right, that moves us into public comment period. We have moved to a consent agenda format, and that should be available to everybody. We have so-called routine items that will be addressed all in one fell swoop, unless there's anything to anyone has an objection there and wants to have discussion on those. Otherwise, those move to the regular agenda. Do we have any public comment at this point on other issues? I do not see. So at this point, we will. We have a special event today, recognition, and we're going to be presenting some. Or the Chiefs of Police Association is going to be presenting some life-saving medals, and we're happy to turn it over to the chief. Sure. Up front is probably the best.
Morning, everyone. I'm Andy Parsons. I'm the Chief of Police at Upper Allen Township Police Department. And today I'm here representing the Cumberland County Chiefs of Police Association. I'm the current Vice President. I'm filling in for Chief Chris Robinstein of Silver Spring Township Police Department. He's out right now. So the reason for my visit is I have 2 awards to give out to 2 very deserving officers from the Cumberland County Prison. Officer Sheets and Corporal Hogue. I have their letters of commendation here that I'd like to go over individually. On August 16th, 2022, Officer Sheets was assigned to the Unit P duty position for her assigned shift at Cumberland County Prison. In addition to supervising Unit P, the Unit P officer is also responsible for relieving 2 other female officer duty posts for lunch and breaks. At approximately 11:15 a.m., Officer Sheets was relieving another officer in Unit L for break. While relieving that officer, Officer Sheets conducted a security round on Unit L. During the round, she witnessed an inmate in cell L14 with a laundry bag tied around her neck, which was attached to the ladder located within the cell. Officer Sheets immediately initiated a code blue, which is an emergency protocol for officer in need of assistance. After initiating the code blue, Officer Sheets manually keyed open the cell door, entered, and began to remove the laundry bag from the inmate's neck. Officer Sheets made several attempts to remove the knotted laundry bag and was successful as responding staff arrived. Responding staff immediately noticed that the inmate was unresponsive, not breathing, and had a blue and purple color on her face. Responding staff applied 4 rounds of chest compressions before the inmate began to breathe and become responsive. After the inmate became responsive, on-site medical staff began to provide care, and the inmate was later transported by EMS to UPMC Carlisle for further evaluation. Officer Sheets was not assigned to Unit L at the time of the incident and was not responsible for conducting security rounds on this housing unit. Officer Sheets' professionalism and ability to be proactive enabled her to be in a position to witness the inmate attempting to take her own life. In a situation where seconds count, Officer Sheets' prompt and swift response allowed her to single-handedly call for assistance, manually key open the cell door, and remove the ligature from the inmate's neck. This allowed responding staff to begin life-saving efforts immediately upon their arrival. The life-saving efforts by all staff involved not only saved the inmate's life, but it allowed her to later be released at a later date for voluntary mental health treatment. The actions displayed by Officer Sheets are the epitome of a corrections officer. Her ongoing dedication and professionalism limits liability to Cumberland County and promotes a positive working environment within the facility. Corporal Lawrence Hogue was also working that day and was also involved in the incident, and this is his letter of commendation. On the same date, Corporal Hogue was assigned to the as a movement escort officer for his assigned shift at the Cumberland County Prison. This duty position is responsible for supervision inmate movement throughout the facility and responding to emergency incidents as they occur. At approximately 11:15 a.m., Officer Sheets responded to the code blue initiated by Officer Sheets. Corporal Hogue and other responding staff promptly reported to Unit L. Upon their arrival, Officer Sheets had just completed untying a ligature from the inmate's neck. Corporal Hogue immediately took notice that the ligature was tied off to the bunk ladder inside the cell. Corporal Hogue swiftly assessed the inmate and noticed that she was bluish purple in the face and she was not breathing. Without hesitation, Corporal Hogue initiated a round of 30 chest compressions. After the initial round of chest compressions, the inmate was showing no signs of breathing. And at this time, there was no mouth barrier or BVM present. Therefore, Corporal Hogue began another round of chest compressions. While conducting chest compressions, prison medical staff arrived with an oxygen and a breathing device. After Corporal Hogue completed a 4th round of chest compressions, the inmate's chest moved and she began to breathe on her own. Corporal Hogue then allowed medical staff to evaluate the inmate, and she was later transported for treatment. Corporal Hogue's expeditious and timely response to the emergency enabled him to be in a position to begin life-saving efforts. In an incident where seconds count, Corporal Hogue's actions were immediate and without hesitation. Being able to retain and utilize his training, Corporal Hogue initiated life-saving efforts that not only saved the life of inmate, but it enabled her to be released for treatment. Corporal Hogue provides a positive example for a professional for Cumberland County and is a leader amongst his coworkers and subordinate staff. His efforts displayed during this incident make him deserving of this award. So for those actions, I would like to present each of you with an award on behalf of the Cumberland County Police Association. We do have these plaques. So Officer Diane Sheets. Great job. And Corporal Hogue. Thank you. Great job. Thank you for the time.
I had to write them down because I don't want to get too emotional with these guys, but I would like to thank Larry and Diane. It takes a special type of person to come to work every day, never really knowing what might happen in any case. And also, and with this, the worst imaginable case happened. Someone was trying to save their life. Instinctively and without hesitation, you responded, ultimately saving a life. I am honored and humbled to have individuals like you working for me. I would also like to thank Cumberland County Chiefs Police Association for taking the time to recognize these 2 individuals. Thank you.
If everyone can, group picture, if everyone can.
With and without?
Yeah, we can do both. We'll do with everyone first. If you want to hold your, yeah. All right, I'm gonna take a couple. Good. All right, and then we'll just do one. We want to do, yeah, we'll just do. Martin, you get in there.
No, you're good.
And you want to do one with them together and then one individually, because as Warden Shank said, it's their awards, like, that's fantastic.
Sure. All right. And do you guys want an individual one each? Well, we're here already, so we're doing it real quick. All right, thank you.
Thanks, Rex.
Oh, thank you.
Okay, it's always nice to have that. Thank you both for your service, for being here. Very appreciative of the Chiefs of Police Association for taking an active role. Meeting.
What a really nice way to start our meeting. As Commissioner Eichelberger mentioned, we do have a consent agenda, and the consent agenda comprises agenda items 5 through 11. These are routine items. They don't appear controversial in nature, but if anyone wishes to have discussion on any of those agenda items, make that request, please, and we will move that to the regular agenda of our meeting. Okay, hearing none, I'll ask for action on the consent agenda.
Move to approve the consent agenda as presented.
A second.
It's moved and seconded. All in favor, indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you, Commissioners. That takes us then to the regular agenda, and these are non-routine items that require discussion. And so we'll start with agenda item 12, and this is approval of the minutes of the March 2nd, 2023 meeting of the members of ADIC.
Good motion.
I will move to approve the minutes of the March 2nd, 2023 meeting of the members of CADIC.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All in favor, indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Record me as a no.
Agenda item 13 is a contract for children and youth. We have Jamie Ryber joining us on Zoom. Good morning, Jamie.
Good morning, everyone. This was a capital project presented and approved a couple of meetings ago. This is for a lease of 2 new Xerox copiers for our office. They're 4-year leases. The increase to the general fund is $25.14 per year, or $100.56 over the course of the lease.
Questions for Jamie?
Motion.
Move to accept the contract, Xerox contract for children. That's presented.
A second.
Moved and seconded. All in favor, indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
We have Adrian Vaughn here with us to discuss the PCCD Race of Vocal Grant award and contract.
Morning, Commissioners. This application was submitted to PCCD last year. Upon approval of PCCD for the Raza Vojo Grant 2023 to 2024, we are seeking permission to approve their approval.
Any questions? Right.
We have a motion.
I will move to approve the 2023-2024 PCCD Rasa Vojo Grant Award and contract of $403,340 for the District Attorney's Office.
Second.
Moved and seconded, all in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
It's a much better pronunciation of those acronyms than I tried. Thank you. I think my high school Spanish kind of came out there, right?
It is 16.
Move on to agenda item 15, which is discussion and approval of the Insurance Fraud Prevention Authority grant application. We have Jonathan Mays here to present.
Good morning, Commissioner. This is for the 2023-2024 year seeking approval for the ability to apply for and receive grant funding for our detective's position and partial funding of the attorney, along with the equipment that the detective uses throughout the course of his work in that area.
Any questions?
We have a motion. Move to approve the Insurance Fraud Prevention Authority grant application of $183,486 for our DA's office.
I second.
Moved and seconded, all in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
So that takes us to agenda item 16, which is discussion and approval of the Dynex Technologies contract continuation for FID. We have Eric Radnovich joining us on Zoom. Good morning, Eric.
Good morning, Commissioners. The contract before you is for $10,272 with Dynex Corporation. It's a service contract for our DSX screening tool that we use in the toxicology department for screening blood samples for narcotics.
Any questions?
I will move to approve the Dynex Technologies contract continuation for FID as presented by Eric Radnovich.
Second.
Moved and seconded, all in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Next we have, thanks, Eric. Next we have Sue Carbo joining us to discuss and request approval for MHIDT contracts. Good morning, Sue.
Good morning. Yes, so we have 4 contracts here. 3 of them are for early intervention. The first one is International Corporate Training and Marketing, LLC. It's an amendment for $10,815 due to additional services for language interpretation. The second one is Invo Healthcare Associates, LLC. It's also an amendment. It's an increase of $32,605. due to additional authorized services for doing evaluations for the children. And the last contract for EI is Easter Seals Western Central PA. It's an amendment. It's an increase of $3,000 for additional sign language interpretation services. And then the MH contract, which is Consumer Satisfaction Services, is a new contract for mental health for 22-23. For the provider for the community service program. I'm sorry. This program used to be under New Visions, but they no longer had the staff to operate it. So mental health had to find a new provider in order to provide this service. So this contract will be for $19,210. Any questions?
Make a motion to approve contract addendum for International Corporate Training and Marketing, LLC.
Second.
I'll second. Solicitor Brenneman, do we do these individually? Can we do them all together? I can't remember.
You can do them all together.
Okay.
Unless there's, you want to back any of them out.
Okay, I will amend my motion. I will make a motion to approve the contract addendum for International Corporate Training and Marketing, LLC, the contract addendum for Invo Healthcare Associates, LLC, the contract addendum for Easter Seals Western and Central PA, Inc., as presented, and also the new contract for consumer satisfaction services.
I second.
Okay, second, any further questions? If not, all in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Agenda
Thank
item
you.
number 8.
Thanks.
Thanks, Sue. Agenda item number 18 is contract with HRG for liquid fuels finance. We've got Kirk Stoner online to discuss.
Sorry, I'm a little discombobulated. I just sat down. So, which agenda item are we on, Stacy? I'm sorry, I just sat down.
Liquid fuels finance, HRG contract.
Okay, commissioners, this is the small bridge inspection program that was the program that was approved 2 weeks ago as part of our new Cumberland County Connects Transportation funding program. The proposal as it stands now would be for HRG to inspect all 143 bridges that are under 20 feet in the county. This is kind of a not to exceed type contract. We'll be working with our municipalities and sending letters to all of them to see who wants to participate. We don't want to inspect any municipal infrastructure if the municipalities aren't willing to participate in the program. So contract cost is $600,000. And that would be for inspection of 143 bridges. The actual number, I would expect maybe slightly lower than that.
Any questions for Kirk?
Entertain a motion.
I will move to approve the HRG contract for liquid fuels finance.
Second.
It's moved and seconded. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Kirk also has several contracts to discuss with you for planning. Kirk?
Okay. All right, I apologize. This is just like back out of the planning commission meeting right here. So there's a Michael Baker contract that we have. This is for our land partnerships contract. It is $57,000 that is paid between a combination of DCNR funding. We received a DCNR grant for this, as well as our Act 13 fundings, our land partnerships program. So this project will be an update of our land partnerships plan that will be integrated then with our county comprehensive plan. Are there any questions on that one? We're going to take these all in one motion. You want to do them separately?
You can report on all of them first, and then they can take an action to do them together if they'd like.
All right, thank you, Solicitor.
You're welcome.
Upper Island Township, we have a land partnerships grant for $20,000. This is for a project in Winding Hill Park North. And then the Mechanicsburg Land Partnerships grant is for $15,500 for trail acquisition. And this is related to the South Mountain Trolley Trail. Both of those grants are from our land partnerships program and our contracts with the municipality match between our Act 13 funding and then the municipal funding as well. Okay, and then I also have Master Watershed Stewards. This is a sub-award grant agreement with Penn State University. The planning department through our water action plan received a National Fish and Wildlife Foundation grant in the amount of $20,000 to help enhance volunteer capacity for implementing some of our riparian buffer and water quality monitoring projects in the county. So I think this is a great teamwork effort here between us and Penn State that will have some of their folks, the Master Watershed Stewards help us in getting the word out about some of our riparian buffer programs and water quality monitoring projects that we have as part of our Clean Water Action Plan. This is 100% grant funded with no cost to the county as the funds are coming from National Fish and Wildlife. And I believe that's everything then. Oh, Toby's contract, is that under mine too?
Correct. Yep, you've got one left.
Okay, Toby's contract, and this is Rockland Consulting. As you're aware, Toby Faber provides consulting services to the county. We work with him to provide a new scope of work for 2023 that's been provided to you with the 4 tasks. He is proposing to raise his monthly retainer fee slightly by 5% increase. I believe Stacy shared full details with you in other update meetings, but I can answer any other questions on some of the scope of work if you have them. Okay, that's everything for me then.
If there's no further questions, we'll entertain action on this.
Make a motion to approve the contracts being requested by our planning department for an addendum to Rockland Consulting, Penn State Extension Master Watershed Stewards Program, Michael Baker International, Land Partnerships Grants for Upper Allen Township and Mechanicsburg Borough.
I second.
Okay, it's moved and seconded. There's no further questions. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thanks, Kirk. All right, so agenda item number 20 is discussion and approval of the contracts for the Recovery Grant Program. We have 4 additional grantees who have completed their performance measures, submitted those, have had those approved, have signed their contract, as well as all other required documents. And that would be for New Visions of South Central Pennsylvania, Frederickson Library, New Hope Ministries, and Tomorrow's Neighbors. Commissioners, do you have any questions? I would ask for approval today.
So motion.
I will move to approve the contracts for the Recovery Grant Program for New Visions of South Central PA Inc., Cleve J. Frederickson Library, New Hope Ministries Inc., and Tomorrow's Neighbor.
I'll second.
It's moved and seconded. There's no further questions. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Record by making note, please.
Okay, we have Brent Durham here for agenda item 21 to discuss and seek approval to accept a donation from Historic Carlisle Inc. to place a Civil War building plaque on the historic courthouse. Fred?
Yeah, good morning, everyone. We've been approached by the Historic Carlisle Incorporated asking permission to place a Civil War building plaque on the front of the historic courthouse. This is a cast in bronze plaque. It's cast locally in Pennsylvania. It measures 8.5 by 5 inches, and it reads Civil War Building, Carlisle, July 1863. This plaque will be placed on the front of the building, just to the left of the front doors. Historic Carlisle they're having a one-day reenactment on June 10th, celebrating the 160th anniversary of the shelling of Carlisle. As part of their celebration, they'll be having walking tours, talking about various buildings that stood during the shelling, and their hopes is to unveil this plaque at that ceremony. I'm asking your approval to accept a $120 donation from Historic Carlisle Incorporated to place the Carlisle Civil War building plaque on the historic courthouse. I'm happy to try to answer any questions you may have.
We have an action requested. Do we have a motion?
Yeah, make a motion to accept the $120 donation from Historic Carlisle Inc. and place a Carlisle Civil War building plaque on our historic courthouse as presented and described by Mr. Durham.
A second.
Okay, it's moved and seconded. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thanks, Brian.
Thank you.
I will note that we'll also be sending a thank you letter to Historic Carlisle Inc. In appreciation of the donation. Agenda item 22 is a capital project request for IMTO, and we have Chad McKay here to discuss the life cycle replacement.
Good morning, Commissioners. I'm here to present and ask for approval for the 2023 computer life cycle. As you know, each year we replace about a fifth of the fleet due to expiring warranties and to enhance performance. The total cost of the project is $188,200. The general fund is $120,700. And then it's covered, the rest is covered by other. Any questions?
Wait for a motion.
So I will move to approve the capital project request for IMTO for the 2023 computer life cycle with a total project cost of $188,200.
I'll second.
It's moved and seconded. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
We also have Mark Adams here to discuss a project and then seeking capital project approval as well.
Good morning, commissioners. We are investing in a project would like to invest in a project to do electronic certified mail. So that essentially gets rid of the green for the thousands of mails, items that we send out every year. We can do this electronically. We can capture electronic signatures. We can then kind of manage signatures in a electronic format versus the paper cards that have to be coming back from the recipients to the post office and into our office and then filed in a cabinet. So we do save $1.25 per item on that when we do this electronically. That cost then really just pays for the application itself. So we're not seeing a cost savings, but we're not really seeing an extra payment on top of what we're doing today. The benefits are in the workflow efficiency, the managing of the electronic records. So the total cost, if it's a 4-year project, it's a cloud software by Pitney Bowes, $14,200 a year over 4 years is $57,000.
Any questions?
Yeah, Mark, let me make sure I'm understanding this. You say there's a cost savings of $1.25 in postage per item.
That's $1.25 per item of what we use today doing the paper process.
Yeah.
So the postage is reduced when we use electronic mail. The postage is reduced by $1.25.
So are you saying here, as I read this, that the cost of what we're doing here is paid for by the savings in postage? If we don't have this. Okay, that's right. Thank you.
I have a question, commissioners, if you don't mind. Would this take the place of the requirement for certified mail in a legal document?
Yes.
It would?
Yes.
The Pitney Bowes has something on?
Yep, it's being used in court already. It's been approved and used in court cases.
Good.
There's several other counties that use the same application.
If you could send me what Pitney Bowes has.
Sure. Yes.
Yeah, it is certified mail. It is no different. It is just instead of an individual filling out the green card and sticking the little piece of tape on the envelope, something is printed and there, so it's still certified. It's just the way that is processed is electronically versus on paper.
Just open my mouth and expose my ignorance. I didn't know.
No, it's an excellent question. Yeah.
The benefits is if all the county folks use it, we'll see some benefits. We may even see some additional cost savings. Of course, we're very much interested in knowing that it's a certified mail and they can use it in court cases.
Good. Thank you.
So the courts are on board that we can essentially require everybody else to use it except the roads.
Yeah.
All right. So hopefully they'll jump on board. Okay. All right. So we're waiting for action for that.
Yes, I'll make a motion to approve the capital project request for IMTO for e-certified mail with a total project cost of $57,000.
I second.
Moved and seconded. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you, commissioners. That takes us then to agenda item 24, which is the liaison reports. And I'll start by calling on Commissioner Eichelberger.
Right. We got the significant update from Justin yesterday at finance meeting, so I have nothing on recycling. MHIDD, everybody's been engaged in that and know where we stand on everything. The advisory committee meeting is today. I took a look at the agenda, nothing extraordinary beyond, of course, the budget issues that we're all concerned about and engaged in. So I really don't have anything to add. That's it.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Fauci.
Well, good morning, everyone. I would remind you to use the Cumberland County Library System. Such a great, so many great offerings there. The Western Cumberland Council of Governments met on Monday, and they have advised that they will be contacting Stacy to get on at the agenda for a finance meeting so that they can come in and discuss the funding for the P25 radio project. And then this morning we had Planning Commission So the Upper Allen Township 7-year ASA review was recommended for approval. The New Cumberland Borough new zoning ordinance and map was recommended for approval. And the Southampton Township new zoning ordinance and map was not recommended for approval. This was a 2 vote no, 7 vote yes. And this is because the commission felt that there probably wasn't enough time for the public to really be involved in this. And there really, in essence, were 2 plans out there floating around. Kirk discussed the Cumberland County Connects 3C program. There's a planning commission retreat coming up. The 2023 outreach meeting is scheduled for March 21st. I believe that is on all 3 commissioners' calendars. I know it's on mine, so I would assume it's on the other calendars. The 2022 Planning Department annual report came out. Sorry, I'd leave the meeting and I'm here, so I just kind of take notes as I'm going at that meeting. The Cumberland County subdivision and land development activity. So year to date, there are 30 plans, and previous year to date, there were 21. So we're already ahead of the game on that work. And that is what I have this morning. Thanks.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner DeFilippo.
Yeah, thank you. The Affordable Housing Trust Fund Board, we had a special meeting March 2nd, and it was to go over the amount of funds that are available for emergency repairs, such as repairs to furnaces, roof repairs. The cap has been for many years $5,000 in a deferred no interest loan that gets paid back when the property sells. Costs going up, though, the board has raised the cap up to $10,000 for these emergency repairs. The Ag Board met on March the 8th. One of the items discussed was an application from a landowner in East Pennsboro Township who owns the Simmons Farm. And the property's been in farming for decades, but is surrounded by development. East Pennsboro has modified the zoning and looks favorably for the landowner to file an application for conservation easement. Township is also considering helping out with the cost of an easement if the application gets accepted. The property is 63 acres. The property needs to be admitted into an ag security area, and Silver Spring Township was able to admit it into its ASA. There is a farm called the Asper Farm, which is partly in Franklin County. Our board has agreed to let Franklin lead the way on the conservation easement application, since the majority of the farm is in Franklin County. The board recommended Bill Piper to be the new chairman of the Ag Board. That recommendation will be coming to our board here shortly. The ranking committee was determined and will meet next week to rank the new applications. We have currently 26 applications on the waiting list. Blighted Property Board met on March the 9th. This board we are getting a lot of activity. Just some updates. 44 West Main Street, New Kingston. New owners are making improvements and have requested a 60-day extension, which was approved. 103 Locust Lane North, Silver Spring Township Board initiated the blight process. 102 Beard Road, Enola. Again, the blight process was initiated. The current owner had started work 2.5 years ago, but made very little progress. The property's in bad shape. 6625 Wurtsville Road in Enola, Hampton Township. Blight process was initiated, as was on 5245 Wurtsville Road and 830 Dublin Gap Road in Newville. Blight process was initiated. The property is vacant and gutted. And we have several properties here that are on track being rehabbed, and a number of properties. I won't go through them, but I'd be happy to send this report to my colleagues. And that is all I have, Stacy.
Thank you, Commissioner.
You're welcome.
Moving on to agenda item 25, I would like to report that an executive session was held on March 9, 2023 at 9:30 a.m. regarding personnel. And now I'll ask if there is any additional business to come before the board today. Hearing none, we